Rakesh Sharma is the first Indian citizen who went to space. He was a member of the Intercosmos program and boarded the Soyuz T-11 launched on April 2, 1987. Rakesh, born on January 13, 1949 in Patiala, Punjab, spent most of his growing years in Hyderabad. From childhood, he had an avid interest in flying. He would spread his arms and run around imitating the sound of an airplane. His father was an employee in Punjab National Bank, but a relative who worked in the Air Force used to take little Rakesh to the airbase and make him sit in the cockpit of the aircraft, thus kindling his interest in flying. Rakesh joined Indian Air Force as a cadet when he was just 18 and later joined National Defence Academy in 1966, where he was enrolled as an Air Force plebe. In 1970, he was recruited by the Indian Air Force. He achieved a lot within a short span of time with his sheer dedication and hard work and flew MiG-21 aircraft since 1971. Before his 23rd birthday, he had already flown 21 operational missions. In 1982, he was selected to go to space as part of a joint program between the Soviet Intercosmos Space Program and Indian Space Research Organization. Before flying, Sharma was appointed as a squadron leader of the Indian Air Force in the year 1984. On April 2, 1984, that he boarded Soviet rocket Soyuz T-11, which took off from Baikonur's Cosmodrome in the Kazakh Soviet Socialist Republic. He was in space for about 7 days, 20 hours and 40 minutes with his fellow cosmonauts, who conducted 43 scientific experimental sessions. While speaking to the then Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi, he described that India looked "Sare jahan se acha" from the outer space.
ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
जी मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूँ कि सारे जहां से अच्छा।
This utterance had become very popular. He retired from the Indian Air Force as a wing commander and later joined the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, where he served as a chief test pilot from 1987 to 1992. He was also part of the light combat aircraft Tejas. Following his return to India from the space, Sharma was awarded with the honor of the Hero of Soviet Union. He has also received highest gallantry award of India, the Ashok Chakra. Rakesh is married to Madhu and they are parents of son Kapil and daughter Mansi. Now 74, he resides in their family home in Kannur. Kalpana Chawla, an Indian-American astronaut, was the first woman of Indian origin to go to space. She tragically died in the Space Shuttle Columbia disaster in 2003. Born in Karnal, India in 1962, Kalpana developed a passion for airplanes from her childhood. Coming from a humble background, in summer nights when her family went to the rooftop to sleep, Kalpana remained awake for a long time, watching the stars twinkling in the sky. She also became interested in airplanes and used to scramble to the rooftop as planes from nearby flying club rode over their house. Kalpana was born youngest of her parents' 4 children. Her mother, Sanjoyita, was a liberal lady who made sure that all her girls went to school. At school, science was her favorite subject. As a good student, she used to secure good ranks all through her school years. In 1978, she completed her schooling and moved to Chandigarh to study aeronautical engineering. She was the only female student in her batch. After getting an engineering degree from the University of Punjab, she moved to the USA in 1982 at the age of 20 and got admission in the University of Texas. There she did her master's and PhD in aerospace engineering. In 1988, Kalpana began her career at NASA's Ames Research Center. There she worked on power lift computational fluid dynamics, concentrating on the concept of vertical and short takeoff landing. Meanwhile, she also became a certified pilot with a commercial license for multi-engine airplanes, seaplanes and gliders. After getting US citizenship in 1991, she applied for the NASA Astronaut Corps. In December 1994, she was selected and joined the organization in March 1995. In the same year, she was selected in Johnson Space Center as an astronaut candidate in the 15th group of astronauts. There she underwent rigorous training for 1 year, at the end of which she was assigned to the Astronaut Office of EVA Robotics and Computer branches to work as crew representative. In November 1996, Chawla was assigned to Space Shuttle Columbia Flight STS-87 as Mission Specialist 1 and the primary robotic arm operator. It was launched on November 19, 1997 from Launch Complex 39B of the Kennedy Space Center. During her first mission, Chawla spent around 15 days, 376 hours, 34 minutes in space, making 252 orbits around the Earth, traveling a total distance of 6.5 million miles. In 2000, Kalpana Chawla was selected as a mission specialist for STS-107, the final flight of Space Shuttle Columbia. It was a scientific mission and included a small laboratory christened as Space Hab. Eventually, it was launched on January 16, 2003 from Kennedy Space Center's LC-39A. The space shuttle remained in the space for 15 days, 22 hours, 20 minutes, 32 seconds. During this mission, the mission crew worked 24 hours a day in 2 alternating shifts, performing nearly 80 experiments, focusing not only on space science but also on health and safety of the astronauts. After a successful trip in the space, STS-107 re-entered the Earth's atmosphere on February 1, 2003, but the crew never reached home because 16 minutes before the scheduled landing at Kennedy Space Center, the spacecraft exploded over Texas, killing all, including Kalpana. She was only 42. Although Kalpana Chawla is best known as the first Indian woman to go to space, she was also a well-known researcher, making significant contribution to the development of space technology. Kalpana Chawla was posthumously awarded Congressional Space Medal of Honor, NASA Space Flight Medal, and NASA Distinguished Service Medal. After Kalpana's death, an Eon asteroid located in the outer region of the asteroid belt and Chawla Hill, one of the 7 peaks in the Columbia Hill chain on planet Mars, have been named in her honor. In India, the first satellite in the meteorological series of satellites called METSAT was renamed Kalpana 1. NASA also dedicated a supercomputer in her honor. Hers was a life which will always shine bright. Sunita Williams is an American astronaut of Indian origin who has astonished the world with her extraordinary journey from being a young girl of Ohio to becoming a record-setting astronaut. Her life story is a testament to resilience, dedication, and the relentless pursuit of exploration. Sunita was raised in a family with diverse cultural roots. Her father, Deepak Pandya, was of Indian descent and her mother, Boni, has Slovenian heritage. Sunita completed schooling from Needham High School in Massachusetts in 1983 and graduated in physical science from the US Naval Academy in 1987. In 1995, she obtained master's degree in engineering management from the Florida Institute of Technology. In 1987, after being commissioned as an ensign in the US Navy, Sunita embarked on her career as a naval aviator. She flew helicopters and served in various capacities as a test pilot and an instructor at the Naval Test Pilot School. Her extensive experience includes flying more than 30 different aircrafts, accumulating more than 3,000 flight hours. In 1998, Sunita was selected as an astronaut candidate by NASA. Her first space flight was aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery in December 2006, leading to an extended stay on the International Space Station as part of Expeditions 14 and 15. During this mission, she had set a record for the longest single space flight by a woman at that time, spending 195 days in space. She also conducted 4 spacewalks totaling over 29 hours. In June 2024, Sunita with her colleague Butch Wilmore boarded Boeing's Starliner spacecraft for its first crewed flight and reached the International Space Station on June 6. The mission, initially planned as an 8-day test flight, got extended due to massive technical malfunctions in the spacecraft. Sunita and Butcher got stuck and had to spend over 9 months in space in the space station without showing any fear or frustration.
I know that there's some questions about how to use the bathroom and how do you actually live in space like normal, like at home. I mentioned real quickly about getting up in the morning and brushing your teeth and washing your face. Well, how do you do that? Well, here is the bathroom essentially. You get up in the morning and we have a little kit and it has all the essential things that you need, like your toothbrush and toothpaste and brush. See how much better the brush makes my hair look? I'm just joking. It still stands up straight. It doesn't matter where you are. It's always going to stand up straight while you're up in space. A lot of people ask about toothbrush and toothpaste. So, luckily enough, toothpaste, you can do it upside right this way, is sticky, and so it sticks to your toothbrush. No problem. Another cool thing is that water sticks to your toothbrush too. If you can see it, I'll have some water come out. The water is pretty neat up in space. It'll stick to your toothbrush and it will make a big bubble. And that's just by surface tension. And then you can drink it. So a lot of people ask about what do you do with the toothpaste after you brush your teeth. Two options. Swallow it, and it's sort of like mouthwash, but it tastes a little gross. Or you can just spit it out in a paper towel, and then you don't have to worry about it.
The unexpected prolonged mission finally concluded with the safe return of Sunita with Butcher to Earth on March 18, 2025 via SpaceX's Dragon Free World spacecraft, bringing relief to the world and bringing more appreciation for the courage shown by Sunita and her colleague. Throughout her illustrious career, Sunita Williams has set new records and broke barriers for women in space exploration. Her dedication, resilience, and contribution continue to inspire future generations of women explorers and scientists worldwide. Sunita Williams' journey from her early life to a recent mission exemplifies the spirit of human capacity to adapt and thrive in the challenging environment of space. Shubhanshu Shukla is a 39-year-old group captain in the Indian Air Force who has etched his name in history as the second astronaut with Indian citizenship to travel to space on June 25, 2025 as part of the Axiom 4 mission to the International Space Station. Born in Lucknow, Shukla is a seasoned test pilot with over 2,000 hours of flight experience on the advanced aircrafts like Su-30 MKI, MiG-21 and Jaguar. He is a combat leader and a recipient of Sword of Honor at the National Defense Academy. His journey to space was preceded by a rigorous selection process that sifted through India's finest flyer for finding the perfect candidate for this historic mission. The selection process for the Axiom 4 mission, a collaboration between ISRO, NASA and Axiom Space, began with ISRO's call for applications open to Indian Air Force test pilots with advanced academic credentials in engineering or science and extensive flight experience. Candidates required to be under 45, physically fit and psychologically resilient to endure the stresses of space flight. Only select few IAF officers met the stringent criteria. From this list, 4 astronauts were initially trained by ISRO's Gaganyaan program, including Shukla and Group Captain Prashant Balakrishnan Nair, who was the backup astronaut for Axiom 4. Shukla's selection was finalized on his experience as a test pilot, a role which demands split-second decision-making and mastery of complex systems that aligned perfectly with the mission's technical demands. His academic background, enhanced by the training at Russia's Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center in 2020, also gave him an edge in understanding spacecraft operations. Shortlisted candidates underwent grueling tests in simulating microgravity, high-altitude conditions, and extreme G-forces. Shukla's 5'8" height and exceptional endurance, already honed through years of combat training, was proved ideal for the mission. Psychologically, he demonstrated composure under pressure, which was evaluated through simulations of life-threatening scenarios. His ability to work in multinational teams, which was crucial for Axiom 4's diverse crew, evident during joint exercises with NASA and Axiom Space. The selection process itself was a spectacle of human excellence. Finally selected astronauts faced months of intensive evaluations, from medical screenings to survival trainings in deserts and jungles. Simulators tested their ability to handle spacecraft malfunctions, while interviews analyzed their mental fortitude. ISRO and NASA's joint panel scrutinized every detail, ensuring the chosen candidate will embody India's pride and execute flawless operations. The final decision was announced in early 2025, with Shukla emerging as the perfect representative of India's space aspirations. The Axiom 4 mission, dubbed Mission Akash Ganga, was a 14-day program aboard a SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft. Shukla, alongside Commander Peggy Whitson, Swallows Uznansky, Wisniewski, and Tibor Kapu, conducted 60 experiments at the International Space Station, including 7 India-led studies on microgravity effects. This mission had faced nail-biting delays due to weather and technical glitches, but ultimately it was launched from NASA's Kennedy Space Center on 25th June 2025. This high-stakes process, demanding relentless and unforgiving, crafted a mission where Shukla played the perfect ambassador, beaming the Indian tricolor into homes worldwide. This mission also redefined India's place in the cosmos, proving that the journey to the stars is indeed an Indian thing now. Shukla proudly announced from the station, "Tiranga embossed on my shoulders tells me that I am with all of you. This journey of mine is not a beginning to the Indian space station, but to India's human space program. I want all of you to be part of this journey."
अच्छा, शुभ अंतरिक्ष की विशालता देखकर सबसे पहला विचार क्या आया आपको?
प्रधानमंत्री जी, सच में बोलूं तो जब पहली बार हम लोग ऑर्बिट में पहुंचे, अंतरिक्ष में पहुंचे, तो पहला जो व्यू था वो पृथ्वी का था। और पृथ्वी को बाहर से देख के जो पहला ख्याल और पहला जो थॉट मन में आया वो ये था कि पृथ्वी बिल्कुल एक दिखती है। मतलब बाहर से कोई सीमा रेखा नहीं दिखाई देती, कोई बॉर्डर नहीं दिखाई देता। और दूसरी चीज़ जो बहुत नोटिसेबल थी, जब पहली बार भारत को देखा तो हम मैप पे पढ़ते हैं भारत को, हम देखते हैं बाकी देशों का आकार कितना बड़ा है, हमारा आकार कैसा है, वो मैप पे देखते हैं। लेकिन वो सही नहीं होता, क्योंकि वो एक हम 3D ऑब्जेक्ट को 2D यानी पेपर पे हम उतारते हैं। भारत सच में बहुत भव्य दिखता है, बहुत बड़ा दिखता है, जितना हम मैप पे देखते हैं उससे कहीं ज़्यादा बड़ा। और जो वननेस की फीलिंग है, पृथ्वी की वननेस की फीलिंग है, जो हमारा भी मोटो है कि अनेकता में एकता, वो बिल्कुल उसका महत्व ऐसा समझ में आता है बाहर से देखने में कि लगता है कि कोई बॉर्डर एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता, कोई राज्य नहीं एग्जिस्ट करता, कंट्रीज नहीं एग्जिस्ट करती। फाइनली हम सब ह्यूमैनिटी का पार्ट है और अर्थ हमारा एक घर है और हम सब के सब उसके सिटीजन्स हैं।
On board the ISS, Shukla, in a live video conference with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 28 June, reiterated his predecessor Rakesh Sharma's observation and said, "From space, India still looks सारे जहां से अच्छा."
भारत अभी भी सारे जहां से अच्छा दिखता है,
thus completing a cycle of Indian space experience.